don't have that background, as long as you don't have that history, and as long as loyalty is there first and foremost, and that you would treat you would treat your men as men. Don't get me wrong, they have to be men in the first place, and by men I mean actual masculine men. They have to have the right frame. They have to have the finances in order. But as long as they can see that you have the right history, you have the right motive, and then the loyalty is there altogether, I think we could all agree in here that a relationship is now going to last and it's going to be fruitful forever.
What's more important, a low body count or loyalty?
What's more important? I don't think I need to pick either one.
They tend to be the same.
I was going to say
they go hand in hand, because if a girl has a higher body count, it's more baggage. It's more exes he has to deal with. It's more I hate this term, but like alpha widows.
Yeah,
I never heard that term.
It's basically like the ex that the girl can't get over, but there's more of them. The more people she's slept with.
I do agree with certain points that you said about getting. I do agree with body count, and I was raised on women shouldn't get run through, and I do agree with that, and I'll preach that to my daughters. But what I don't agree with is the perfect family, the scenario. The greatest thing for a woman is when she's standing in her living room with 30 people celebrating her. Yeah, for some people, that is their life goal. I don't think my aunt. I've got a few people in my family that can't have kids. So
that's the exception. That's the exception.
No, and that's an exception. So it's to say she can't have kids. Her life is any less fulfilled than my other auntie that has got that. Maybe, but she's living her best life in foreign. Like,
is she?
She's had to adjust ultimately. You've got to remember.
Yeah, I hear you. So we can adjust, and I don't think her life is any less fulfilled.
No, it's not. It's not going to be. It's not going to be any less fulfilled. I mean, technically, it will be.
No, I hear what you're saying, because she has went through probably periods of her life where she's wanted a kid. Right, I get that.
But again, I mean, that is the exception to the rule, and it doesn't mean she can't be happy, but she's not going to be as happy. Now, that's just the sad truth of it, right? But if you're a woman, I mean, to go back to your previous point, what would a woman want more than to later on be able to say that they're a grandmother, great grandmother with loads of kids, load of people that have come from there? I know you said that that's not every woman's goal. What goal would you say a woman would value more than that long term? That society hasn't told her she should have.
Yeah, I'm like, I want to cut the 30 great grandkids down to like 8, 9, because the cost of living out here is crazy.
Yeah, that's a lot of Christmas presents.
But the point is, if a woman doesn't prioritize a family, she ends up unhappy in the long term. In general, because this is when you survey women, because it's all fun and games when you're still hot, right, and you still look good, right. And you still get attention from men, but at some point that goes away. Like, no guys are lining up to date 50-year-olds.
Yeah,
and you're going to live to be 90. Go ahead.
Yeah, sorry. We have that window. So that's why we want that commitment.
Fertility window, yeah.
Yeah, so we need to optimize in that and try and find that commitment when we're in that window. Mm-hmm. So women are nurturing, they want to have kids naturally.
Not all.
Naturally you do. But I believe the only reason why some women will say they don't, and I personally believe I'm yet to be convinced otherwise, is because modern day social conditioning. Society has convinced you that's not your ultimate goal. But if you actually walk into a dark room with nobody in there by yourself, completely quiet, and ask yourself, what do you want? What does your biology want? I think you'll know the answer.
When you ask girls that are 18 and they're graduating high school, they all want to be married with kids.
That's the first thing they want.
Yeah,
but who sold them that dream?
It's just nature.
It's society as well. It's definitely not society. You have feminism pushing. You can get your own bag. Female empowerment. Like, I've been told from the youngest age that I can do whatever I want.
Mm-hmm. Society's telling you that you should have this big career.
Yeah.
And make it on your own. And
bullshit.
That's in the long run. You're just gonna, if you're gonna be like a high up lawyer with loads of money, you may have loads of money, but you'll be lonely because you won't have your children.
You get a couple of more holidays a year out of your money. So fucking what? At the end of the day, what does it matter to you if you've not got a family? That's ultimately what you want.
Is to have children.
I mean, it's the gift we have.
Yeah,
that's
our to procreate.
You're breeding machines. That's literally what you're biologically designed.
No, I know this, but I want to ask you guys something. Yeah.
Sorry, darling.
Now, the LGBT community should be allowed to conduct themselves how they conduct themselves, right? So more than likely we're not going to get any kids from that area.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, the women that we're now telling go to work, go to career and stuff, don't have kids late. Now we're telling those women not to have kids. What do you think happens to the human race when people stop having kids?
It will become extinct, won't we?
That's what I'm talking about. So we need a man and a woman to have kids, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right. Otherwise, we need to continue the human race.
And to touch, sorry to cut you in, but but on that point, people have got to understand that what we're fed to believe we want and what we want on a DNA level, a cellular level, are two different things. And this brings me back to the very point you all touched on earlier with regards to what men are looking for in women and what women are looking for in men. Now, this is just for anybody watching. At the end of the day, the simple breakdown I provide for people is if you're a man, for any man in this room, if I was to sit here and break down a woman, so for example, I would say she's very, very caring. She loves her career.
Yeah.
Right, she's very, very driven. She's got loads of friends around her that love and respect her. Her family adores her to pieces. Highly educated. What is every single man in this room thinking right now?
In what sense?
When is she going to have...
If I was to describe a woman and start off and purely lay out those attributes or traits or her history, right?
Yeah.
What for any guy in here or any guy listening, what question do you have in mind? What's the first question you have?
What does she look like?
Thank you very much. Right. It all comes down to the aesthetics in the beginning. Right. Now, for women, it is slightly different in that, now, if I was to say he's a great looking guy, chiseled jaw, big dick, tall, right.
What does he do for a
What
living?
is it?
Thank you very much. You've broke. So the first thing you want to know, who is he? What does he do? What are his connections? What's his status? Right in society. I think deep down, every single woman asks those questions. And if I was to say, along with those things, if I was to drop it on you now and say that he's a complete bum, he's going nowhere in life, he still lives in his mum's basement and he's got no drive to accomplish anything in life, nobody around him respects him, he's got no friends and there's no girls trying to hit him up, what would you say now? Get the fuck away from me is what you say.
I always say like we shouldn't
say
date
take him to
bums.
church.
Hypergamy isn't a bad thing. Like why would you
Hypergamy is
why would-
designed for our survival.
Yeah, why
That's
would
exactly what
I
it's
don't
for.
want to date a bum. Like
No.
I hope to God you guys don't want to date bums.
So you're saying guys would date a girl who's bummy?
Yes.
Yeah, but I know, but
Or
what-
at least it's
to
not the
us,
first-
what a girl,
One at a time.
a woman being a bum to us, well, we don't really look at women as bums. For us, it's more to do with your loyalty,
Yeah.
and it's to do with your attitude in life, whether you're arrogant, whether you've got that overly confident nature. To us, it's repulsive. But a woman having no money and a woman not being well connected, do you think we give a shit? Because that's not our ultimate goal. Ultimately, on a DNA level, and this is what most men need to understand, this is what we act on. It's primal. So on a DNA level, we are ultimately after good breeding stock. So you need to have, and this is a woman's display of good breeding stock, good genes, is by having a great physique, a beautiful face. She's youthful, she's young, she's within that peak fertility window. She does have a clock. And sooner or later that will run out, and then she'll end up on the other side of that,